Hello, my middle school students. I wanted to come to you today and talk to you about your prayers and mantras and the next step in our process. I know I haven't spoke on this very much with all of you, so I wanted to make sure that this video is available for all students, whether you're online learning or in our hybrid. So on the front of my paper here, I have a prayer, and on the back, I'm going to show you how I did a mantra. I know this might not be the easiest thing to see right now because I wrote it in pencil, but I'm just going to kind of go through how I think through this and the way I'd like to see these kind of decorated. So I did a prayer at first, and so I wrote, "Dear God." God should always be capitalized, so please make sure that if your sketch does not have capital letters or things don't look like they're properly formatted and it's all kind of squished together, maybe start another sketch so that it is spread out over the whole paper. Remember, this is our sketch for our final design. So what I first did was write out my prayer. And then I thought about ways that I can highlight certain words so that it looks more interesting and I can add more color to it later. So please protect our, and then I thought, oh, I'll make Holy Spirit, since that's the name of our school, cursive and a little more standing out with the lines I drew around it, which I definitely added at the end. So I wrote all of my words out. Another idea, if you're having trouble making sure that your words are straight across the paper, is always grab a ruler and hold it underneath them and line things up and see if your words are straight, or draw lightly with a pencil and give yourself a nice line. When you draw straight lines with a pencil, please make sure that they're straight and not going uphill, so that your words aren't all at an angle. This is going to be a little bit harder when we get to actually working on the fabric. So having a good sketch to lay underneath our fabric will definitely help us make sure that everything's straight and you're spelling things right and you leave enough room for all of those details. Okay, almost done tracing here. And this is a process you will do as well when you're done writing it all out. If your handwriting and your cursive isn't that great, don't worry. I'm going to show you how to make blocker bubble letters on the back. So you have other options. There's always online tutorials you can look up on the internet. Tons of stuff out there. Please use your resources. All right, so I have all of my stuff. I added a heart at the end. And then I went back up here and I just drew a sun, kind of a simple sun drawing with triangles for rays, kind of coming around the D in deer. All right, my prayer is obviously about families and illnesses, and I hope that we're all protected this year and that we can all have some joy in our lives, because 2020 and COVID has not brought very much of that to anybody. So I'm tracing all of my pencil lines in black, even though I might add color to my final piece or even this sketch. But right now I just wanted to get on the basic design of what I'm doing. So you see how Holy Spirit kind of has this glow around it now. You have the sun up there, you have a heart down here. So my eye naturally flows from one place to the other. And then I drew an arrow, which I did a little too close. So I'm going to move it back when I'm tracing, like that. Now I still have all my pencil lines. Essentially what you should do is erase all of that, and then you can add color to it. So you might choose markers to color it in with, crayons, whatever you have available at home. So like for the sun, I would go ahead and color the whole thing in yellow, making a nice line around the edge, and then coloring neatly and completely throughout the center. So you see how that kind of highlights the word deer. My black is leaking through a little bit, and that was just a black marker, a finer tip marker than I had here. I just have my big thick markers. So there you go. And then if I wanted to, I could add yellow or maybe even try orange or a pink or red. You know, it just kind of depends on what it is you want to use. It does not have to be exactly like this. I don't want to see a bunch of students using my idea as their final project. But then if I just go over top of those lines using the side of my marker, I can add a lot more color to this sketch. Some of you may have started this already in class with me, and that's fine if you decide to change your idea or your prayer. Just make sure that you let me know when I see you in class. And so I'm going to draw a heart around here, color this guy in. I'm not doing a very good job right now for some reason, staying inside my lines. Try to do better than me. And then color should I make since that was pink, I will do the arrow in red. So I stuck to warm colors. You don't have to. Again, this is just kind of how my brain works, trying to work in color families so that it looks like it's supposed to make sense. If you're coloring right up to the edge, make sure you have a placemat underneath your drawing so that it doesn't soak through. All right. There's my design idea. If you wanted to add more, like I have this blank corner down here and a blank corner up here, I could always add more there. Grab my gray. Maybe I do just kind of an interesting cloud shape. And if it's colored in, I think it always looks better. Now let's see. Okay, we didn't soak through, so my back is saved. So on the back, I did a mantra: be the change you want to see in the world. Something I've always said to myself. It's something that I love, and it's really my reason for teaching. I want to be part of the change that happens in our world by teaching students and encouraging you to be creative. So I have the word change here, and I'm going to make this a block letter. So I'm just taking the letters, I'm tracing and blocking them out as I work through here. So A's are a little more difficult. It's better to do the whole upside down V shape and then add in the center. N is kind of tricky, so take your time. Again, practicing on another piece of paper on the back of your paper until you get this right. And my letters are definitely going uphill and getting smaller, so I would have to adjust that for my final project so that it looks good. You can use this same idea to make bubble letters. You would just curve those edges instead of making them sharp and straight. All right, be the change. And I made change very big because I wanted it to stand out. I'm working as fast as I can here. So I did C in cursive just to kind of change it up. And different fonts and things like that definitely make anything like this way more interesting. Think about those posters you see in teachers' classrooms. I'll make these bubble letters so you guys can see how to do that. So instead of making the edges sharp, you would make them rounded. And I'm just going to go around this because I'm making the center into a world. So I'm going to color that green and blue in there to kind of make that stand out. All right. R. Not my best bubble letters, but you get the idea. Just remember on things like D's and A's that you have that center, so draw that in as well, okay? So be the change you want to see in the world. All right, now you can add things like interesting and decorative lines around. It could be patterns if you want. I draw them like this. I start there, I turn my paper, and then draw them like this, and connect. I've been doing this for a while, so I know I make it look easy, but I just kind of wanted what looks like a fancy frame around. But I put this one on the inside by accident, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that now. And then, of course, I would erase all my pencil lines. Maybe even thicken up this line around the edge so that it's more prominent and kind of holds the whole piece together. And then I would add in my green for my world. And my blue. Just remember to go slow when you're filling in tiny little spots like this. And then I'd figure out with my markers what colors I would want the word change to be and the word world to be. Since they're block letters and bubble letters, you would definitely want to fill that in. You could color them all in black. That's totally fine if that's what you want to do. But we're going to take this and put it underneath our fabric when we finally do our Sharpie transfers. And then that way you're kind of following a template that you've already created. You could add flowers around your little edge if you wanted. Maybe if you wanted to make this like yellow so it looks like a gold frame, you could do that. There's so many options and so many different things available to do. I just wanted you guys to see what I was looking for in regards to a sketch. So any white printer paper or manila paper, if you have any at home, will work fine. This is just what I had available as scrap paper. So I hope this helps kind of define and give you the expectations I'm looking for in regards to what it is you're to do for your sketch of your final prayer or mantra. Last thing to remember is to put your name, grade, and whether you're A group or B group, okay? And then like, if you just want to write A or B in circle, or if you just want to write the letter B next to your grade, that's totally fine, or A if that's the group you're in. Just so I know what group to find you in when I am looking online to make sure everybody has turned it in. A quick reminder, middle school, as much as I would love to accept emails of your work, I cannot do that this year as I get so many emails being Dean of Student as well as teaching. So if you please take a picture of this and post it to Google Classroom, that is the easiest way to get your information to me and your assignments so that they get graded quickly. I hope you guys all enjoy this project. I can't wait to see our final flags hanging in the school. That will be our next step, transferring this prayer or mantra onto a piece of fabric, and I will come back to you and explain that later. I hope you have a wonderful day.